Hey everyone, welcome back to Spoken English TV.
Hi guys, so good to be here again.
Maya, can I ask you something honest?
Sure, go ahead.
Do you ever feel nervous before speaking in front of people?
Every single time.
Really? Even now, after doing this podcast for so long?
Yes, really. Confidence isn't something that just disappears one day.
That's actually a huge relief to hear.
Why do you say that?
Because today, we're talking about something everyone struggles with.
Self-confidence.
Exactly. How to build it step by step.
I love this topic. It's so practical.
Let's start simple. Maya, what does confidence actually mean to you?
Good question. I think confidence isn't about being fearless. It's about trusting yourself, even when you feel scared.
That's a great definition. A lot of people think confident people never feel nervous, but that's not true at all.
Right? Even famous actors and singers say they get stage fright before every single performance.
So if fear doesn't go away, what actually changes when someone becomes more confident?
I think what changes is how they respond to that fear. Confident people feel the fear, but they act anyway. They don't let it stop them.
That's a powerful way to put it. Fear stays, but the reaction to it changes.
Exactly. And that's something anyone can learn, including you and me.
Speak for yourself. I still get nervous introducing this show sometimes.
See, that's honest confidence right there. Admitting it instead of pretending.
Okay, so let's break this down for our listeners. What's the very first step to building self-confidence?
I always tell people to start with their body language. It sounds simple, but it works.
Body language? Explain that a bit more.
Well, there's actually research on this. A social psychologist named Amy Cuddy studied something called power posing. She found that standing tall, shoulders back, and taking up space can actually change how you feel inside, not just how you look outside.
Wait, so just standing differently can change your emotions?
Yes, your brain and body are connected both ways. We usually think feelings control our posture, but posture can also influence our feelings.
So if I stand like a superhero before a meeting, I'll feel braver?
Try it before your next presentation and tell me what happens.
Okay, I actually might try that. What's another simple trick?
Eye contact. When you're talking to someone, look them in the eye. It shows confidence, even if you don't fully feel it yet.
But what if making eye contact itself feels uncomfortable?
That's completely normal, especially for shy people. A little trick is to look at the space between someone's eyebrows. It looks like eye contact from their side, but it feels less intense for you.
That's such a clever tip. I never knew that.
It's a small thing, but small things add up over time.
Let's talk about self-talk now. I feel like this is a big one.
Huge one. The way we talk to ourselves in our head shapes our confidence more than almost anything else.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Imagine you make a small mistake at work. What do you usually say to yourself?
Honestly, something like, wow, you're so careless. Why do you always mess things up?
And that's exactly the problem. Would you ever say that to a close friend who made the same mistake?
No, never. I'd probably say, it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Let's fix it.
Exactly. So why do we treat ourselves worse than we treat our friends?
Wow, I never thought about it that way.
Most people don't. But changing your inner voice is one of the most powerful ways to build confidence.
So, how do we actually change it? It's not like we can just flip a switch.
True, but you can practice. Every time you catch a negative thought, pause and rephrase it kindly, like you would for a friend.
That makes sense. It's like training a muscle.
Exactly. Confidence is a skill, not a personality trait you're simply born with.
I like that idea a lot. It means anyone can improve, even someone who feels really shy right now.
Absolutely. Nobody is born naturally confident in every situation. Even confident people had to learn it somewhere.
Let's talk about comfort zones. I hear that phrase a lot, but what does it really mean for confidence?
Your comfort zone is basically the area where things feel safe and familiar. The problem is, if you never leave it, your confidence never grows either.
So, growth happens outside of comfort?
Exactly. Think about the first time you rode a bicycle. It was scary, right?
Terrifying. I fell down so many times
But now you can ride without even thinking about balance.
because I practiced until it became comfortable.
That's the whole idea. Every time you do something uncomfortable and survive it, your comfort zone gets a little bigger.
Can you give our listeners a simple example they can try this week?
Sure, if you're shy about talking to strangers, try starting a small conversation with a cashier or a coworker you don't usually talk to.
Small steps, not giant leaps.
Exactly. Confidence doesn't grow overnight, it grows through small, repeated actions.
Let's talk about preparation now, because I personally believe this is underrated.
Tell me more about that.
Whenever I feel unprepared for something, like a meeting or a presentation, my confidence drops instantly.
That makes total sense. Preparation removes a lot of the fear of the unknown.
Right, because if you know your material well, you're not worried about being caught off guard.
Exactly. Think about students before an exam. The ones who studied properly usually walk in calmer than the ones who didn't.
I remember cramming the night before an exam and walking in shaking like a leaf.
We've all been there. But that shaky feeling usually comes from lack of preparation, not lack of ability.
So, preparation builds confidence because it reduces uncertainty?
Exactly right. The less uncertain you feel, the more confident you naturally become.
That's such a useful way to think about it. So, even for something like public speaking, if you practice your speech multiple times,
You'll feel far more confident on stage. Practice literally builds real confidence, not fake confidence.
Fake confidence. That's an interesting phrase. What's the difference?
Fake confidence is when you pretend everything is fine without any real skill behind it. Real confidence comes from actually being prepared and capable.
That's such an important distinction. So, confidence isn't just a mindset trick, it also needs real effort behind it.
Exactly. Both work together. Mindset alone isn't enough if you haven't put in the actual work.
Let's shift to something a lot of people struggle with, comparing themselves to others. How does that affect confidence?
Oh, this is a big one, especially with social media today.
tell me about it. Everyone online looks like they have perfect lives.
Right, but what we see online is usually a highlight reel, not the full reality.
What do you mean by highlight reel?
People post their best moments, their achievements, their good days. They rarely post their failures, struggles, or bad days.
So, when we compare our normal, everyday life to someone else's highlight reel,
We're comparing our behind the scenes to their highlight reel. It's simply not a fair comparison.
that's such a clear way to explain it. I've never heard it phrased like that before.
It really helped me personally when I stopped comparing my journey to someone else's.
Can you share a personal story about that?
Sure. When I first started doing podcasts, I used to compare my voice, my English, everything to hosts who had years of experience.
That must have been discouraging.
It really was. I almost quit because I felt like I wasn't good enough.
What changed your mind?
A friend told me something simple. She said, "You're comparing your first episode to someone else's 100th episode. That's not fair to you."
Wow, that's such powerful advice.
It completely shifted my thinking. Now I only compare myself to who I was yesterday, not to other people.
That's such a healthy mindset. Growth over comparison.
Exactly. And that mindset alone can boost your confidence so much.
Let's talk about failure now, because I think fear of failure is one of the biggest confidence killers.
Absolutely. So many people avoid trying new things simply because they're afraid of failing.
But isn't failure supposed to be a bad thing? Why should we not fear it?
Failure feels bad in the moment, but it's actually one of the best teachers we have.
Easy to say, harder to feel when it's actually happening.
True, but think about babies learning to walk. How many times do they fall before they finally walk?
Probably hundreds of times.
Exactly. And nobody tells a baby, "You failed, give up." We expect falling to be part of learning.
So, why do we treat adult failures so differently?
Because as adults, we attach our identity to our failures. We think failing means we are a failure, instead of understanding that we simply failed at one specific thing.
That's such an important difference. Failing at something doesn't make you a failure as a person.
Exactly. Once you separate your identity from your mistakes, failure becomes much less scary.
Do you have a personal example of overcoming failure?
Yes, actually. Years ago, I applied for a job I really wanted and got rejected.
Oh no. How did you feel?
Terrible at first. I even doubted my own abilities for weeks.
What helped you move past it?
I asked the interviewer for feedback. They told me exactly what skills I was missing.
That took courage, asking for feedback after a rejection.
It did, but it turned my failure into a lesson. I worked on those skills and got a better job 6 months later.
So the rejection actually helped you in the long run.
Completely. Without that failure, I wouldn't have grown the way I did.
That's such a great reminder for our listeners. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the path to it.
Beautifully said, Ryan.
Look at me, sounding confident all of a sudden.
See, talking about it is already helping you practice it.
Let's talk about social confidence now. Some people feel confident alone, but freeze up in social situations. Why does that happen?
That's very common, actually. Social anxiety often comes from fear of judgment. We worry too much about what others think of us.
I definitely relate to that. I overthink conversations way too much afterward.
You're not alone. There's actually a psychological concept called the spotlight effect.
What's that?
It's the belief that people notice and judge us far more than they actually do. In reality, most people are too busy worrying about themselves to closely judge you.
Wait, so the awkward thing I said last week that I still think about?
Nobody else probably even remembers it.
That's actually really comforting to hear.
It is. Most people are the main character of their own story, not watching yours as closely as you think.
So, how can someone practically improve their social confidence?
Start small. Practice smiling at people, saying hello to neighbors, or asking simple questions in group conversations.
Small wins building up over time again.
Exactly. That pattern keeps repeating because it's genuinely how confidence works.
What about listening skills? Do they play a role in social confidence?
Huge role, actually. A lot of people think confidence means talking a lot, but really, being a good listener makes people feel more comfortable and confident around you.
That's interesting. So, confidence isn't only about speaking well.
Exactly. Sometimes the most confident person in the room is the one who listens carefully and responds thoughtfully.
I love that perspective. It takes the pressure off having to constantly perform.
Right. Confidence isn't a performance, it's simply being comfortable with who you are.
Let's talk about celebrating small wins. I feel like people often skip this step.
Totally agree. We tend to focus so much on big achievements that we ignore the small progress we make daily.
Can you give an example of a small win?
Sure, maybe you spoke up in a meeting for the first time, or you finished a workout you almost skipped, or you had a conversation in English without translating in your head first.
That last one is very relevant for our audience.
Exactly. Learning a new language is full of small wins that deserve celebration.
So, how should someone actually celebrate these wins? Like, literally, what do they do?
It can be simple. Write it down in a journal, tell a friend, or just say to yourself, I did that and I'm proud of it.
I like the journal idea. Seeing your progress written down feels powerful.
It really is. Over weeks and months, that list becomes solid proof of your growth.
What about setbacks during that journey? Doesn't seeing a bad day in the journal feel discouraging?
Actually, no, because it shows the full picture. Confidence isn't a straight line going up, it has ups and downs, and that's completely normal.
So, even a confidence journal should include the hard days too?
Absolutely. It makes your progress feel real and honest, not fake or perfect.
Let's talk about role models. Does having someone to look up to help build confidence?
Definitely, but with one important condition.
What condition?
The role model should inspire you, not intimidate you. If looking at someone makes you feel worse about yourself, they're not helping your confidence.
That's a really important distinction. Inspiration versus intimidation.
Exactly. A good role model makes you think, if they can do it, maybe I can too. Not, I'll never be as good as them.
Do you have a role model who helped your confidence?
Yes, actually, my older sister. She was terrible at public speaking in school, just like me.
Really? I find that hard to believe now.
It's true. But she practiced constantly, joined a speaking club, and slowly became amazing at it.
Watching her journey must have shown you it was possible.
Exactly. She proved that confidence can be built, not just inherited.
Let's talk about mistakes people make while trying to build confidence. What are common traps?
One big trap is waiting to feel confident before taking action.
What do you mean by that?
People often think, I'll speak up once I feel confident enough. But actually, confidence usually comes after action, not before it.
Wait, so we shouldn't wait to feel ready?
Exactly. If you always wait to feel ready, you might wait forever. Action creates confidence, not the other way around.
That completely flips how most people think about it.
It does. And once you understand it, it becomes much easier to just start, even while feeling nervous.
What's another common trap?
Trying to copy someone else's personality completely, instead of building confidence in your own natural style.
That's true. I used to try talking like more outgoing friends, and it always felt fake.
Exactly, because confidence built on imitation feels hollow. Real confidence comes from embracing your own personality, even if it's quieter or different from others.
So an introverted person doesn't need to become loud to be confident?
Not at all. Some of the most confident people I know are calm and quiet. Confidence isn't about volume, it's about self acceptance.
That's such a relieving thought for quieter listeners out there.
Absolutely. Confidence looks different on everyone, and that's completely okay.
Let's talk about breathing and physical calmness. Does that actually connect to confidence too?
Yes, definitely. When we're nervous, our breathing becomes shallow and fast, which actually increases anxiety even more.
So, slowing our breathing can help calm nerves before something like a presentation?
Exactly. Simple, deep breathing. In for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, out for 4 seconds can calm your nervous system quickly.
I've heard of that technique before, but never actually tried it seriously.
Try it right before your next stressful moment. It genuinely helps more than people expect.
All right, I'm definitely testing that before my next big presentation.
Let me know how it goes.
Let's talk about confidence specifically for English learners, since that's our main audience here.
Great topic. Learning a new language can really shake someone's confidence.
Absolutely. Especially fear of making grammar mistakes while speaking.
That fear stops so many learners from practicing speaking at all.
What would you say to someone afraid of making mistakes in English?
I'd say mistakes are proof that you're actually trying. Nobody learned a language perfectly without making errors along the way.
That's such a comforting thought.
Also, native speakers usually care more about understanding you than judging small grammar mistakes.
That's true. When I hear someone speaking my language with an accent, I never judge them. I just appreciate their effort.
Exactly. Most people feel the same way. We're often much harder on ourselves than others are on us.
Any specific tip for building confidence while speaking English?
Practice speaking out loud alone first, maybe describing your day or your surroundings. It builds comfort before speaking with real people.
Oh, I like that. Low pressure practice before high pressure situations.
Exactly. And slowly increase the challenge. Speak with friends, then strangers, then maybe even record yourself.
Recording yourself sounds terrifying, honestly.
It is at first, but watching yourself improve over time is incredibly motivating.
Before we wrap up, I want to ask about criticism. How should someone handle criticism without losing confidence?
That's such an important question. Criticism can either destroy confidence or build it, depending on how you handle it.
What's the difference between the two reactions?
If you take every criticism personally, it chips away at your confidence over time. But if you learn to separate useful feedback from unkind comments, criticism actually helps you grow.
How do you tell the difference between useful feedback and just unkind comments?
Useful feedback is usually specific and comes from someone who genuinely wants to help you improve. Unkind comments are often vague, harsh, and come from people who just want to bring you down.
That's a helpful way to filter it. So we shouldn't ignore all criticism.
Right. Ignoring all criticism isn't confidence. That's actually avoidance. Real confidence means being open to feedback without letting it crush your self-worth.
Do you have a personal story about handling criticism well?
Yes, actually. Early in my podcasting journey, someone commented that my voice sounded too monotone.
Ouch, that must have stung a little.
It did at first, but instead of getting defensive, I actually listened back to my old episodes.
And what did you find?
They were right. My tone was quite flat in the beginning, so I started practicing vocal variety and expression.
So that criticism actually helped you become a better podcast host.
Exactly. And now I actually thank that listener in my head every time someone compliments my voice.
That's a great example of turning criticism into growth instead of taking it as an attack.
Exactly. Confidence and openness to feedback can absolutely go together.
Let's also talk about how our surroundings affect confidence. Does the environment we're in matter?
Definitely. If you constantly spend time around people who criticize or belittle you, your confidence will naturally suffer.
That makes sense. We're deeply influenced by the people closest to us.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to surround yourself with supportive, encouraging people whenever possible.
What if someone can't easily change their surroundings?
Try to find at least one supportive person, a friend, mentor, or online community who genuinely believes in you. Confidence grows faster when you're not fighting alone.
What about self-care? Does something like sleep or exercise actually affect confidence too?
Surprisingly, yes. When you're exhausted or unhealthy, your mind naturally becomes more anxious and less confident.
I definitely feel less confident on days when I haven't slept well.
Exactly. Regular exercise also releases chemicals that reduce anxiety and boost mood.
So confidence isn't only mental, it's also physical.
Precisely. Taking care of your body directly supports a stronger, calmer mind.
Any final practical tip before we wrap up completely?
Yes, dress in a way that makes you feel good about yourself. It sounds small, but how we present ourselves genuinely affects how we feel inside.
I definitely feel more confident on days when I actually dress properly instead of just wearing whatever's nearby.
Exactly. Psychologists even have a term for it, enclothed cognition, meaning clothing genuinely influences our thinking and confidence.
Confidence really does connect to so many small daily habits.
Exactly. And that's honestly the most encouraging part. You don't need one giant transformation, just small, consistent choices every single day.
Let's wrap up with some final advice for our listeners. Maya, what's the one thing you want them to remember?
I want them to remember that confidence is built, not born. Every confident person you admire started somewhere nervous and unsure, just like you.
That's beautifully said. What about specific action steps?
Start small, practice daily, celebrate tiny wins, and be kind to yourself when you fail.
I love that summary. What would you add, Ryan? Oh, wait, that's me. I'm asking myself.
Classic mistake. Happens to the best hosts.
Okay. For me personally, I'd add focus on preparation. It genuinely reduces so much unnecessary fear.
Great addition. Preparation plus self compassion plus small, consistent action equals real confidence over time.
That's a perfect formula to end on.
Absolutely. And remember, confidence isn't about being perfect, it's about being willing to try anyway.
Beautifully said, Maya.
Thanks, Ryan. And thank you all for listening today.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs a confidence boost.
We'll see you in the next episode of Spoken English TV.
Take care and speak with confidence, even if your heart is racing a little.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.